Hello, hello. Welcome. My name is Veronica. If you are new, welcome. If not, welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about what is the difference between ego versus higher self. And the reason for this is because if you are new to the term ego, you might be wondering how to really differentiate when you're acting out of ego, when you're acting out of your higher self. And I have a simple way I look at it, and I'm going to share it with you. If you have not yet seen my video on what is ego, I'm going to link it somewhere up top or under or something. Go check it out. I kind of go more in depth with it. But ego basically is what is formed, right, to protect us from vulnerability, shame. So I like to see it as fear-based, right? Because it's just there to protect us. Thank you for what it does. But usually it's just trying to protect us from shame or vulnerability. And it's formed around what you believe you are. So if you are like, I am a, let's say, athletic person or athlete. If I am, let's just say an athlete. If I am an athlete, my ego may start forming that I'm an athlete. Or vegan, my ego may start forming of me not eating animals, and then me thinking that I'm right, everyone else is wrong, and then me thinking that, et cetera, et cetera. It usually forms around who you are. So there's different parts of you. Maybe, and then if you feel like your truth is the absolute truth, your ego is usually formed. If you have a subconscious belief that you are not good enough or something, and you have this ego around you being an athlete or vegan or something may trigger you because you have a subconscious belief that you are not good enough. Obviously, this is your subconscious belief. If it's subconscious, you're not aware of it, right? So it doesn't even matter if you're like, oh, well, that's not a problem for me because I'm good. It doesn't matter because you're not aware what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, anywho, so then you might be projecting it towards those things that you believe you are, and then you might cause like anger, you might get triggered easily, and then think you're all that, or maybe people pleasing. There's different forms that the ego shows up, but usually how I see it is it's fear-based, right? I went in depth in the other video on ego, but usually it's fear-based. And higher self, excuse me, I've been talking all day. Usually higher self, how I see it, is connected to your soul, connected to source, to God, to universe. It is not attached to the ego, because the ego is very physical. It's right here. You never get rid of your ego as long as you're here having this human experience, but you can always keep it on check and make sure that it is working kind of for you rather than against you, right? And I kind of went in depth on that in the other video on once you believe, if it's too excessive, then that's where it causes like narcissism and maybe not having healthy relationships, etc. But if you keep it on check, it can be a good guide to push you kind of towards your manifestation. And so higher self is your soul. And how I see it, and the best way I can explain for you to even feel it is through meditation, because that's how I kind of tapped into it when I'm meditating and I detach from time, space, identity, right? And I'm in this vortex, in this void, and I'm letting go of the conditions, the beliefs, all of that, those things that I believe that I am. I detach from all that, and I come back to the silence that I am, the true I am, that I am bliss, happiness, fulfillment, joy, all those great emotions. So that's kind of how I see it, and what helps guide me is knowing that all those good feelings, it's who I am, right? Love, bliss, compassion, vitality, wealth, abundance, all those things is who I am. That's why whenever I'm resonating with those things, I manifest faster, I'm healthier, I'm more energized. Versus when I'm stemming from all those other things, fear-based things, lack, scarcity, anger, righteousness, all of those things, I'm actually stemming from a lower vibration. Things aren't coming to me as easy, right? I'm not as happy. I may materialize health problems in my life, etc. So stress, anxiety, all that. So that kind of is what helps me and what helps guide me. So I know that if something comes up and is giving me like a feeling, a low energy feeling, a feeling that I don't want, a trigger, a judgment, then ego is coming up, right? Because usually when we're judging, it's ego based. Doesn't mean that all judgment is bad though, but it's different from like if it's stemming from fear. And sometimes even we disguise fear as love, like, oh, I'm only doing this because I love you, right? I'm only protecting you, but really it could stem from fear subconsciously, right? Because if we know we're a soul having this human experience, we know that we're always going to be fine, we're always going to find our path, that we are all in our own journey, that we're compassionate, loving towards ourselves and everyone else, that we cannot control, right? We can only choose and have this dance with the universe, with God, and just align ourselves with our manifestations and trust the process, trust that everything's in perfect alignment with ourselves. And so that takes courage, and that's a little bit challenging sometimes to really do. But the more we practice and the more we see results, the more that we're more in tune with that, with our intuition, with everything. So coming back to ego versus higher self, I think the best way and the way that I started doing it that really helped me was ego, fear-based, trying to protect us, trying to keep us away or keep us from feeling vulnerability and shame. And if we have subconscious beliefs around something that we're not aware of, remember, we don't know what we don't know. Our ego may kick in trying to protect us from that, but we can always kind of pinpoint a shadow based on our triggers, our judgments. When we have a strong attachment towards a belief or something, usually ego is involved. And our highest self is our purpose, our soul's purpose, what makes us feel good. Usually is accepting, is kind, is gentle, it's vitality, it's abundance, it's happiness, it's all the good feelings. That's our soul, that's who we really are. Doing things that are authentic to us, that make us feel good without judgment, you know? If we release all that judgment, who would we be? If we tap into our inner child, how do we have fun? You know what I'm saying? Like, or we're being intentional with our words. Are we speaking for attention? Are we speaking for validation? Are we speaking to disempower, to bring someone down? Or highest self, are we speaking to empower someone? Are we speaking life and love into someone, into a collective, you know, energy? Are we just, because sometimes even I think speaking our truth, people confuse that with rude, like, oh, I'm just gonna speak my truth. But there's a difference, right? If we're speaking your truth from ego, or you're speaking your truth from authentic self, and that just comes with being intentional with your words. So are you speaking your truth? And before, just kind of becoming aware. Self-awareness is key, because before you speak, you're like, okay, what's the intention behind this? Am I speaking, like I said earlier, to disempower, to shame, to judge, etc., or validate myself, to find validation? Or am I speaking to empower someone, to give love, to compassion? You know, did they even ask me for my opinion, etc., etc.? You know, just becoming aware of your judgments, of your thoughts, and choosing light over fear, choosing love over fear, choosing, you know, sometimes to just do some self-reflection, do some ho'oponopono, which is like forgiveness, mantras, some self-love, knowing that your truth is not the absolute truth and everyone's in their journey, that no one is perfect, having compassion for someone else, for everyone, and yourself, because the more compassionate you are with everyone else, the more compassionate in return you will be with yourself. And you may just be projecting something to these people or to someone or to the situation. Maybe that thing is reflecting something to you, right? And it's all like, you have to be as neutral as possible, I think. Neutral, calm, as open as possible. And this is challenging. This is challenging to some people, to most people, because we have these attachments, these subconscious beliefs, these judgments that the ego is involved to protect us from seeing what actually is, because it doesn't want to feel pain. Because if we have suppressed energy of pain, we might have to shine light in these shadows and feel to release that energy, and that might cause a little bit of sadness that we've been suppressing, a little bit of anger, a little bit of like, because of the stories we believe that we're not good enough, or that things have to be challenging, or etc, etc, etc. But we just let those things go for a minute and know it's just energy, it's just stories that we took on. Because who we really are, our highest self, is love, bliss, abundance. We're creators, we're all the good feelings, we're vitality, we're love, and we don't need anything, because we are the creation of that ourselves. And then once we can create that inner state within ourselves, it will be reflected out. We will gravitate those things to ourselves, because we are worthy of those things. There's no separation between us and our desires. If we can just do that and listen to that, you might feel that feeling really intense. I know I've talked about it in my videos and my podcast, how to release suppressed energy, letting go rituals. I call them letting go rituals because I used to do them very frequently. Now I only do them sometimes when I really feel it, but it helped so much. So your ego may be protecting you from feeling those things, from looking at, shining light to those shadows. So you really have to like be as kind and compassionate towards yourself, and know that those are just stories. You are not your stories that you're telling yourself. You are not those stories that you're telling yourself. You are love, bliss, abundance, light, all the great feelings. Hopefully this video helped you understand a little bit of ego versus highest self. And in my other video, I kind of go in depth a little bit more on just ego itself, and some examples. But hopefully this helped, and I will talk to y'all in the next episode. Bye.